What stupid rule did your work have to make because one idiot ruined it for everyone? A video game company I worked for provided free snacks and sodas. One Friday HR had just done a shopping run and was bringing in a truckload of junk food. One employee was caught sneaking a case of soda out of the parking lot. He wasn't fired or disciplined, it was just made public why the perk was ended. He quit shortly afterward and attempted to sue for a hostile work environment. That went nowhere. No popcorn. I work at a financial company and not once, but twice, someone burned microwave popcorn during end-of-day processing and caused the building evac. Every once in a while a new person is cooking some up and I just imagine the talking to they're about to get. We used to be able to pop in an earbud at work with the offset being that we couldn't spend more than a few seconds here or there to switch podcasts or something. Naturally, some people took a mile and spent minutes on their phones. Since everyone was afraid of confronting these people, phones and earbuds were banned in workspaces altogether. No skirts, shorts or skirts, at all. I used to work in a bar and the dress code was simple, just wear black. Didn't matter what his was, as long as it was plain black. In the summer the girls used to wear skirts or shorts so that they're not uncomfortable while working and everyone was fine with it. A new guy joined in July of 2021, and it was very hot so people had skirts on. He kept on taking pictures under the girls' skirts and of their thighs. He was caught many times but instead of him being fired, they just banned skirts. Thanks a lot, Martin. Don't put stickers on people's backs. Background. I work in a warehouse that stores and ships products out to retail stores. We print labels out for the packages and pallets etc. and some of us made a game out of tagging people with stickers without them noticing. I got really good at it. I did this trick where I'd put the top two corners together making a sort of cone shape so I could just let it rest on my finger then sort of throw my hand up at an angle so it flies off my finger and gently lands on their back without me having to apply any pressure to make it stick and risk them catching me. Even some of the supervisors got in on it. One day someone decided to try it on one of the cooperates from one of the stores and was instantly caught, ruining the fun for everyone. We used to get a free beer after our shifts at a pizza restaurant I worked at, until the manager's little brother got in a car accident after work. He ran a red light or something. That was fun while it lasted. No sneakers / One manger was obsessed with this girl who was 30 years younger than him, 50 to 20, and her commute was 2 hours long. She sometimes forgot to change them out and he must have got sick of her turning him down then he mandated a no sneaker clause. All social media and streaming sites are now blocked on work computers, because someone spent all day on social media and watching movies while at work. The sick room and quiet room are now locked because a certain slacker keeps hiding in it. They've been hiding in the glass meeting pods since. Only one personal item in your office. This was a financial institution so customers came into our offices. This was put in place because of one lady who had her office packed with trinkets including a handful of dolls. Yes, creepy dolls. Come and get your auto loan. Also don't worry, we have some dolls here to witness your transaction. We are not allowed to put our genitalia on the copier anymore. Thanks, Dave. Everyone has to speak English, because one lady thought people were talking shit about her in Spanish. They were. I was hoping for employees discount at a Japanese grocery store. However, someone from the past has abused the employee discount in order to give low prices to their friends. Management found out, and they effectively just took the employment discount away. Thanks a lot, asshole. You effectively deprived me the one thing I was hoping for in that stressful and boring job. Well, I went to the doctor's office the other day. At the bathroom there was a sign. It said due to misuse of hand soap, you will have to request soap from front desk. I'm weirded the frick out. What the hell are they doing with the soap? At the doctor's office? I was just too afraid to ask. Not at a workplace but at a summer camp, YMCA. Only children under the age of 9 were allowed on the playground due to the fact that 2 older kids, don't know how old they were caught kissing on the playground. Can't keep personal items at our desks. People lost a lot of personal items over the COVID work from home period. Only when we returned to the office, it was at that time did things start going missing. There's either one or a few thieves among us. So to cut it down, they say only keep the stuff at your desk that you're willing to lose. We used to have casual Friday and people could wear jeans. One day a girl came in wearing sweatpants that had juicy printed across the butt. The CEO happened to be visiting our location that day and he saw her. Casual Friday was immediately abolished and it took years for them to forget Juicy Girl and reinstate it. But in the intervening years, they would have fundraisers where you could buy tickets for days that you could wear jeans. I was serving in the army when a soldier made a video on TikTok of himself dancing and playing with a gun and the video went viral. They took the mobiles after that from everyone and I stayed for a couple of weeks not even able to reach my family. Had one person download a free student version of software that they used instead of the one the company paid for. Almost cost the company a decent amount of money. Now everything is locked down on everyone's computer to the point that I can't delete desktop icons without having an admin. Netflix is blocked at work. One secretary used to watch Netflix at her desk and nap when there were no calls. I don't need to watch Netflix at work, but I usually use fast.com to check internet speeds. Every time I check the internet speed, which isn't that often, I forget and then curse that secretary. She was fired pretty much immediately, but her memory lives on. If you derail a train, you have to get drug tested. In my time at that company, members of my team caused 3 derailments. After the second one, the employee's official statement was oops, no further comment. It was operator error and the guy owned up to it. After the third one, the guy driving hops out and screams oopsie. He was being a real prick about the problem he just caused. So we ended up rewriting the drug testing policy to drug test the guy, and sure enough he failed. So then he was gone. My job at a college campus LGBT center had a few people make official rules and one unofficial rule. No watching porn. You would think this is a no-brainer, right? You are in a public space, don't watch porn. Nope, some person was watching hentai on their phone like it was a YouTube video through the speaker too. I quietly told the person to not do that again. 1 hour later I do some rounds, same person has a video of someone just bouncing up and down. I kicked them out for the day and added the rule. Second rule I added is that you had to be enrolled at the school or be sponsored by a student enrolled. We had a creepy guy who would come to spend all day and make people uncomfortable, no rule breaking, just being off. I wasn't allowed to ban students just cause without involving student affairs. But he slipped and said he wasn't a student. I emailed my boss and she allowed me to put that rule in. Next day it was, sorry, with you not being a student you can't hang out here with our sponsor. He asked some of his friends to sponsor him and they all said no, so he had to leave. The unofficial rule was no one is required to give you a hug. I had a student come into my office wanting to make a complaint about a student. The complaint name gave a hug to all these people, but when I asked for a hug she said no. I don't think it is fair for people to hug some people but not others. This is not making this place a safe space. After checking for hidden cameras in case I was getting pranked, I had to tell this person that no, you are not entitled to a hug and that if you want to appeal that decision you can take it to student affairs. Never did hear back from student affairs. HR partner's husband got into a fight with someone at coat check. As punishment, HR decided to ban hard alcohol at all events for years. Thus began my hatred of HR. We can't use the wheelbarrow to carry all the equipment down. Now we have to make multiple trips up and down a big hill with heavy equipment. Frick you, Wyatt. Background: Wyatt decided to use the wheelbarrow as a ride down the hill and lost control, almost slamming into a kid. The mom luckily pulled the kid out of the way in time, and now no more wheelbarrow. Oh, and we all hate Wyatt and he swears it wasn't his fault and it was everybody else's fault. But he still works there cause we are short-staffed, thanks to COVID. No hands in your pockets. We were re-waxing the floor and I slipped on a cord, and couldn't catch myself because my hands were in my pockets, smashed my knee on the tile floor. The whole school district got that rule. 40 schools. We had to get GPS systems for the company cars because one guy took his company car on vacation. He also paid for gas with the company card, so now we are required to write the current mileage at the top of the receipt so they can check miles driven versus gas bought. It's no big deal, just like what a loser. That only full-timers could take out the trash for food handling departments. One worker in the bakery had taken a cart of expired pies to the compactor to toss and simply popped open the plastic container to dig in while at the trash area. Needless to say, they put up a camera in that blind spot and fired him. His reasoning was that he had another 3 days till payday and couldn't buy lunch. Saddest thing though, if his excuse was true, if he'd only just asked, anyone would have spotted him the money. He was a very good and friendly employee. No home food. Someone brought smelly eggs. It was in 3rd grade when Pokemon was hot again. Some idiots traded cards and then their parents want to have the card back, so they became illegal for everyone. All the plates and cutlery were thrown away in the staff restaurant because washing up was left dirty in the sink. It's bring you own cutlery and plate in if you want to eat there now. Place I used to work gave out turkeys for Thanksgiving. An employee accidentally dropped his on his foot and tried to file a suit against them for some crazy amount of money. No more turkeys. No hot food at the desk. A local rule, because someone was snacking on curry at 11 a.m. I work at a warehouse. Someone cut their finger bad enough that now we have to use a plastic knife and scraper. I feel like I'm back in elementary school, lol. Don't have a job but am a community college student with 2 stupid rules at my school, both regarding the testing center. You can't bring lip balm into the testing center because it might have answers written on the back of a fake wraparound label, and if you want to listen to your own music and not just a Pandora station of your favorite genre on a center-provided iPad during a test, you have to bring your music playing device, iPod/phone etc., into the testing center days in advance so they can listen to every song in your library to make sure some aren't just you secretly looking at the test answers and recording yourself saying them, but putting that on your device under a fake song name. There were allowed fans in the building, but after one guy every day he would fart in them, so the owner took them out, but now every day it's like 90 degrees with like 30 people in there working. No balls in the deep fryer. I don't know what's happened, but we just got a company-wide briefing about no sexual, physical, social harassment. Literally keep your hands to yourself. We think something went down. This came from head office with 3 separate memos. I'm a firefighter, all of our rules are because some idiot ruined it for everyone. Not my workplace, but back in high school my friends and I got a Taco Bell near our school to change their sign from free refills to free refills on soft drinks after we successfully got refills on our food. Used to work as a server in an assisted living facility. After a server flipped out during breakfast one day, there was a sign put up in the kitchen that said "Do not threaten residents," that Fricker still works there. Beer at work and firing. Apparently, some woman in a store got drunk and caused a scene, so they made a blanket rule across all locations. Not allowed to fly paper planes in the office. I work in finance and yes, it was my fault. My aim is terrible and my plane crashed into a manager from another department who had no sense of humor. Frick that guy. At a restaurant I worked at needed a manager override to make any price adjustments, remove items, or process certain cash transactions. This was done because another service found a way to discount their own meals or something. Anyways, this was a huge problem for everyone because there were only 2 managers in the whole restaurant, and often only one was on shift at a time. So when it would get really busy, which happened almost every night, it was next impossible to get a manager to help you out. Oftentimes they'd scream at you for asking for help. Meanwhile your tables are getting pissy because they've been sitting there for 15 minutes waiting for me to cash them out, and I can't do anything about it. So between my managers yelling at me and getting stiffed, the job because insanely stressful, I quickly put in my 2 weeks and got the frick out. You are welcome to wear comfortable clothing during the overnight shift. However, you must wear pants at all time. No pajamas or underwear. It predates all of us. The guess is someone did an overnight, took off their pants to relax, and someone went in crisis. Someone must have replied all one too many times because my work flat out removed the option to reply all. Dress code. One guy once wore a Tupac middle finger hoodie into a meeting with the most important client ever for my firm, and now we have the strictest dress code. Tie, dress shoes, tuxedo/suit, and no gray or blue suits, only black. Not work related, but the asshole who tried to blow up a plane by having a bomb and hose shoe. Every time I have to take off my shoes at TSA I get reminded by that asshole. Big warehouse where we had to drive pallet jacks to get anywhere. For lunch and breaks our department was allowed to head out through the exit close by, which saved us a lot of time. I had a boss who had been stealing cigarettes from the cage for months for her 26-year-old boyfriend. She was 50 plus. The higher-ups started getting suspicious because the count didn't match the orders, but it took them a while since she would alter the count because she had access to that. Anyway, the other bosses tried to set a trap for her and someone tipped her off that the cops were coming. She hurried and got a box of cigarettes, drove her jack to the end of the aisle near the exit. Her boyfriend was waiting outside. She got in the car, and that is when the other leads came out and surrounded the car. Her boyfriend nearly drove over them, and he broke right through the barrier at the entrance. Anyway, after that we couldn't use the exit door anymore. Worked as a cashier, and supposedly a superior or whatever came to look at the store one day and said us cashiers/floor employees having water bottles up front is not good. So we weren't allowed to have water bottles out on the floor anymore, so if we wanted water, we'd have to go the back. Us cashiers talk to many customers a day and we're going to get thirsty, of course. We all thought it was a stupid rule. The year and a half it takes to get rid of an employee that doesn't work and always uses HR buzzwords when you try to talk about performance. My supervisor used to allow breaks even if you were only working 4 hours. One day this bitch was only coming in for 4 hours and it was in between our 15 minutes break and our 30 minutes lunch break. So she took both breaks, and my coworkers and I pointed it out to her that she couldn't take both breaks. She got upset. So the next week my sup gave me the 15 minutes break cause I was only working 4 hours. She noticed and went and complained to management. So now you have to work 5 hours to get a break. Another time she told me I should do all her work cause she has to do all the work at home. I just laughed at her. Anyways, she shortly got fired. Frick you, Justina. We banned all employees from using RDP after our file server and accounting department was targeted in an RDP exploit ransomware attack. Employees would absentmindedly do personal web browsing with RDP still running. Can't be responsible? Can't have that software.